Welcome back to Something Like That with NAV. Hello, how you doing? How you feeling? It's another episode. Hope you guys are staying safe. It's what month is it? August. That's right. I'm losing track of time. So much of interesting things have been going on, and well, actually, nothing's been going on. It's been dead, man. Everybody's staying at home during this MCO. Oh, man, it is such a super boring year so far, but I am pretty sure that things are pretty interesting on your side. Well, anyway, on today's show, one of our guests has been on the show, I think twice before this, and he's been churning out loads of great music for the past, I don't know, a couple of months. Almost every month there's a brand new single coming out, and this time he has collaborated with this awesome duo. I would call them electric pop duo. That's how you like to name it, or maybe we'll double check on that. They were actually formerly from a 5-piece alternative grunge band, but right now they have evolved for the past couple of years, and I got to find out about that too. How did that happen? They're out with a brand new track, and it's an awesome track. It's an amazing track. It kind of gives you the how do I put this, a feel-good vibe. And there's a long story behind it. There's an awesome story behind the songs. And I've also noticed their previous singles, or rather the tracks that they have released, unlike most songs, each song has a separate, unique meaning behind it, which we're going to find out in a bit from now. So let's bring them in. First up, let's have Karazey, I have Rakesh, and also Niralji from Monoriff. What's up, guys?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. See, I always like this whole thing when I do the introduction and bring them in. We tend to pretend like this is the first time you're chatting, but before we just hit the on button, yeah. Oh wait, face to face, yeah. But the conversation was going on for the past 20 minutes or so before we went live, right? So how you guys been, man? How is it going so far? Come again?
This is what you say every session, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the same bullshit every time, man. But it's like, how are you? How you been? What have you been doing up to? It's like I never chat with you a couple of minutes before this. It happens. I think that happens in every single radio, any of the shows. That's how it goes.
There's a rhythm in how it starts, right?
It's like they ran out of ideas on how to start a show.
It's not just a show, right? Anyone, like, hey, bro, hey, how are you?
Hey.
How are you? Like,
Okay.
I don't really want to know how are you, but I gotta ask how are you.
It's just a formality sake, huh? Go on. But you guys have been, speaking of how I use, you guys have been really busy, right? Churning out music and stuff.
I mean, not Ursula. You should ask Karazey. That guy's
Karazey's been coming out with back-to-back music. You still have the time, because the last time I had a chat with you, you were busy with SPM, and then there was Christmas in between, and then all of a sudden now you tell me you're in college, and you have the time to make music back-to-back. Like, how do you do that, man?
I don't know, bro. Like, wherever there's time, there's like 1 hour break, I'll be rushing to go to the speakers and put out the music and stuff. And then next second, I'm back in maths class, then in biology, then back to music, then back to physics, then back to the homework, the assignments, then back to music. And it's an endless loop or cycle that is tiring, but it's worth it, I guess. It's fun.
So you see, when I go back to make music, put the headphones on, make music, you make it sound like a job. Is that how it is for you?
It's kind of, although I don't call myself a professional, I treat it as a profession, because some days you're not motivated, and you will say like, I don't want to make anything. But during those days, I will tell, if this is my job, I need to show up and I need to do something. So it's part of the 10,000 hours thing. That's how I sort of motivate myself to do something at least. So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. How about you guys? Do you guys do the same thing?
I'm the complete opposite of Shane.
You know one thing about Shane that I was really taken aback is that I have no idea how we started conversating. I don't know where he got our number or something, but he was like, bro, I like your music, let's collab. And it's like a normal thing for a musician to tell that to another musician. So I'm just like, yeah, sure, anytime. And that night itself, I sent a track to say like, bro, this is the track that I want to collab with you. What do you think?
Wow.
It was crazy, dude. I was a bit like, whoa, this guy is too fast, man.
Way too fast, man. Unlike because he hasn't been seasoned yet with the other guys. I mean, if he hangs out a lot with the other guys, he'll get the bad vibes or bad influences, and then we'll go on for like, hey, dude, let's collaborate in a track, and then you realize it only happens 3 years later. That happens a lot with the old ones, like the old school. I wouldn't want to say old school, but the seasoned ones, lah. But
Yes,
anyway,
but
speaking of
you're seeing the future, Karazey. You're seeing the future
Yeah.
here. So
yeah,
all your calculus to back to my headphones to when running errands from mom and back to music. When you come to here, it'll all be just, hey man.
yeah.
How I do. That's
That's
the
all.
important thing.
Let's see how. Let's see how. Okay. But anyway, speaking of like, what made you collab with this particular track called "My Silence Is Fear," right? My fear, silence.
Either way, bro.
Silence.
Either way. Makes
Silence
sense.
is my in my fear. Sorry, is my fear. Pardon me.
So that's
Ah,
where
just-
that's how
Okay,
you
bro.
tell. That's how
Whatever
you tell
it is.
the title of a song.
Yeah, it's like okay. Let me confess. This song was on loop. The moment Darren passed me this track, it was on loop in my Spotify for a while because I don't want to like make it sound like I'm body king useless or whatever like that. But the vibe in this particular track is nice, and also your other stuff. So it was going on loop or back to back, and I just really had to have this conversation about how did it work out. So Karazey, what made you decide that you want to collaborate with these guys?
No, I mean, like Darren usually manages a bunch of artists, including me. So he was like introducing me because I asked him like, who else do you manage and stuff. Like, so he was introducing me to one by one. Like, okay, so there's this singer, this thing, and then came Monoriff. He told this is like the indie pop duo. You should check them out. They're cool and stuff. So me being me, I decided, oh, let's go check out the Spotify. Woohoo! Why not? So I was listening to their music and stuff, and I really like their voice and the entire vibe they had and the energy the songs had and the emotion especially. So once that was done, I Rakesh followed me on Instagram. So that was like
I
the
followed you.
open. Yeah. So that was like the opening. So I was like,
Ah.
yo, he followed me. Let's take the opportunity. Let's DM him before he unfollows me. So I texted him
I
and
don't
I
know
was
that,
like,
by the way.
hey. But then I texted him and then I was like, bro, hey, so I want to work on a song with you guys. I really like your stuff and stuff like that. And then we were talking about it and he was like, sure, let's do it. What do you have in mind? And I was saying, I want to make something funky. I want to make something Daft Punk. And that's the complete opposite that I've made. But yeah. And after I said that to him, like I was so happy that I told him like he wanted to work with me and stuff like that. I was panicking because I didn't have a demo. So that's the problem with me. Usually I ask collabs from people without a demo in hand. So I end up staying the entire day, like I think so it was break during the time, like holidays or something. So I had the entire day and I was working on the song. And then I sent Rakesh the first version, like the demo version of the song, which is pretty much the current version.
I have to find this out because I know I've read about it that how you guys decided what made you guys change and so on, but why did you all actually change? I mean, I'd rather find it out from the person itself, from a grunge alternative band coming up to a duo. That's a huge switch in music from rock to dance music or rather to beats, EDM, whatever you want to call it right now. So what made you change that direction?
Rakesh?
You want to take that first, or you want me to take that first?
Well, I said your name, so.
I mean, to be honest, like if you realize that, like we were quite active during 2012. That's where we have this part where we were going through alternative rock and we were performing around I think safely say Semenanjung, like because we went to Malacca, we went to Putrajaya, we performed in few places, like even in Bandar Utama. What's that bar called? I cannot forget what's the name of the bar. And what's the name of the bar that we performed for that
Laundry?
Laundry, yeah.
Laundry, okay.
So-
Laundry was famous for
yes.
that.
That's where we met
Exactly.
Darren too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then something happened is that where we decided to, like, you know what, we do not have like we need to start recording because like there's no point of us performing everywhere. So like we came up with the idea of like building up a studio from scratch. So we built up a studio, but the studio took about 2-3 years, Anjay? 2-3 years, right?
No, but 1.5.
1.5 year, 1.5 year. And along the way, a lot of our bandmates, like they are going through different journey in their life. So some of them have left the country, some of them have started working, and some of them has lost their interest in music lah. I mean,
Okay.
so like what's left is me and Niralji, and then we were quite ideal when it comes from 2014 to 2018 actually. Uh, we were going through a lot of process whereby we need to learn because we have no funds, so we have to start learning about mixing and mastering and producing our own track. So that take about 5 years to I think 3 or 4 years to do that. And then to be honest, like we almost quit on 2018 actually.
Ooh.
But something happened in my life that like Niralji was he's not just like a bandmate, he's also like was a huge part in my life. So he knows a lot of things that had gone through in my life, and he was there throughout the entirety of all whatever that I've went through. So in 2018 is where I lost my sister.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, okay. So 2018 February is where I lost my sister. But before that, me and Niralji was like, dude, we are quite. We are getting old. I don't think so. This thing is going anywhere, and I think it's time for us to see life as what it is. But after my sister passed away, it really changed a lot of our perspective in life. So we're like, you know what? I can say fuck, right?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
You can fuck too if you want.
Yes, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Nobody's going to stop you at this particular show.
So I was like, NJ, fuck it, man. Seriously, like, let's do music. I don't care if we are like 40 years old, or we're 30 years old, or 20 years old, because eventually, sooner or later, we realize that if we take a 5 years break, eventually we have the itch to make music again. That's what happened. So we're like, you know what? There's no such thing as like reaching a certain goals in a certain time limit, and so we were like, let's start doing music again. Let's release songs again, and then it was like, let's do it. Like, let's start performing. And like you said, you know what? I don't want to produce, and I don't want to stay in the studio anymore. I just want to go out there and let's like use our hands and feet to perform. So that's where we start performing in open mic. So we did in swimming pool club and everything. So we were in 2019 is where we quite aggressively perform outside there. We perform in a few places, and we started releasing songs in 2019. And because we have that gap, we slow our what do you call it, like our desire. We are able to reinvent ourselves. So because we were not performing like indie alternative rock for 5 years straight. We were performing in 2012, and then we have this huge gap. So we are able to reinvent ourselves to fit in. Is that right? The right word, NJ, to fit into current trend or something like that, NJ? Do you want to?
So I mean, so for me, right? It to start off, it's we didn't really know who we were or what we were doing, really. So
Exactly.
we met in college, and then I played music, and Rakesh got interested and said, "Look, why don't we get a third guy in to play the guitar?" So Rakesh plays the drums, and then that's how we met the lead guitarist, rhythm guitarist, and bassist. So it all started with just having fun playing songs, and mostly. But I had a thing, right? Sorry, was that a cat?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
that's the fourth guest of the show.
There. I have no idea where she's.
I was hearing cats. Sorry.
Oh, you guys can hear her, Kafka.
Yeah, that's the only pussy you're gonna get on this show, man.
Oh,
Okay.
So yeah, like anyway, so we were playing more, like just performing in random places as five piece band. And you know what, like I call this alternative rock and stuff, but I really didn't know what we were playing. I could have, like it was anything but metal, maybe. So it was, I honestly, I didn't know what I was really doing. So I don't know. I know like I wanted to be successful in the music field, but I don't know how. I don't know what. I don't know where. So I just
You
wrote
haven't figured
songs.
out the identity yet, lah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And back then there was no, there was YouTube, but not much content. We're talking about like 2010, 2008,
Yeah.
sorry, 8, 9. So you don't really have a head start anywhere. At least for me as a college student back then. Then so it was just jamming, but I made a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes in the sense that I did not build friendships with these people, with my
Okay.
band members. So we were just playing, jamming, but we weren't friends after that. We'd hang out around or go for little trips or have a drinking session. It was just jamming time. But because I
It wasn't
saw-
really like building the chemistry among you guys, lah.
Yeah.
exactly. Besides, like off studio, there's no friendship really, not much. of
Okay.
friendship. So I think when Rakesh and I decided to like, okay, this is the time you want to start producing, get serious, and release some songs. Naturally, it was very easy for the other band members to leave because now it's no more about playing. It's no more about the whole excitement. It's more of sit down computer stuff. I wasn't too surprised that everybody just found grew up and it was all settled down or moved away. Because I realized that I was so engrossed in the whole idea of like just want to I want to we need to produce 10 songs and this that the joy of playing was put aside, parked aside.
Okay.
That happened for a very long time. So when we got into the studio, things became simpler in the sense that the music took a more minimal approach. So it was more minimal EDM and this and that. It was not the the grunge or whatever analog recording. It was all just digital. And that after a while, right? If you're not very careful, you'd be more of a keyboard musician, more than
Okay.
an musician. And so that kind of crippled me in a lot of artistic ways, or the sheer joy of playing, really, and the habit of just being in the studio for countless hours just to get a track out. So we're more of a factory based, and we became less of musicians. And
Yeah.
by the time we know, and then when Rakesh had those moments where he lost his sister and all that, that I think was more of a wake up moment. Like, hey, what are you guys doing? Who you are really? Like, if you call yourself musicians, then what the fuck aren't you playing? Like, why are you so engrossed in just thinking of how people like you, what the trend is, or what kind of music they may like? Like, why don't you fucking figure out first what you're playing? What you want
Okay.
to play. So that was like a wake up call for the both of us, really.
Ah, cool. Because one of the reasons why I'm asking you that is the change of genre. I mean, reinventing is one thing. The last time I ever came across something similar to this was way back then, when you're talking about Prodigy. Prodigy actually started off as a live band and so on, and then moving on to the dance track. And right there, Monoriff from alternative, choosing a different genre altogether. Is actually a huge step. How did that actually get into that? Choosing the different genre altogether compared to, I know you guys didn't really focus on much of the band days and so on, but to choose another genre altogether, why this side of it? Why this particular genre?
I think I think we just got younger in a sense.
Ah,
that,
okay.
yeah, just wanted to like,
Yeah.
hey, the songs they're playing in the clubs are cool, man. Like getting the groove on, and you're like, just feeling really exuberant and youthful.
Okay.
Again. You're getting more so natural. Somehow I just translated into the kind of music we produce, like more just catchy beats, more simpler, more hooks, faster BPMs.
Okay. Okay.
So somehow the rock and alternative kind of slowed things down. We, kind of, it took too much to have fun.
Okay.
You come up with the electronic track in 2 minutes, and then bam, you smash it out. You put a limiter on it, you blast it through the ceiling. You feel so like, wow, I made great music, So
which is pretty much the trend, or rather the feel right now, the vibe that's going on.
Yeah.
And I think you also have a passion for art of film, or rather the music soundtrack, creating those kind of stuff also, right? So I think that's also a booster for you, because you did one for what, try it just for the fun of it for Game of Thrones, right?
Oh wow. Okay, thank you for checking that out. That was just a personal hobby thing.
Okay, which is pretty fine, and also because all these questions and all is leading to this particular track, my silence is my fear. It also has. It isn't just about a great track. It isn't about the great beats. It also has a good message behind it, a story behind this whole track. It's also about communication among with people, with your spouse, and so on. And that, how did that adapt into this song? Why did you decide to do that for this particular track? Karazey, you came up with the beat, you came up with the music, and so on. Did you have an expectation on how the lyrics are supposed to sound like, or how you're supposed to add on to this particular track, or you're just waiting for somebody to just throw in vocals for it?
No, I mean, like with the drop and the breaks, they are two different songs entirely if you think about it. Because the breaks are much more personal, intimate, and mellow. The drop is just going wild, and then it synths blaring and euphoric and makes you go crazy and stuff. So when I sent them the demo and stuff, I wasn't expecting anything but like how to say, a vocal that was powerful enough to carry the drop of the song, like enough energy that it doesn't overcompensate for the drop, but it still is able to give weight to the song. And when Niral sent back his vocals with the first version, goosebumps, pure goosebumps everywhere.
Because this is the kind of tracks that I would love to listen to in a music festival.
Yeah,
It's like you got to blast it all out. And for the benefit of those listening to this particular podcast, one of the best ways for you to enjoy it is get a good set of headphones, plug it in, and crank it up as loud as possible. That's where you get to feel the vibe of this particular track. Don't just play it on TV or stream it or Google cast it on TV and listen to it. Have some good sound system. If you don't have it, pinjam somebody's set or whatever like that, or put it in your car and crank it up loud, because the vibe and this particular track is amazing. I'm not just complimenting the track, but it is how I felt when I was listening to this particular track. The vocals, the beats, and the meaning, especially, I was taken back with the whole storyline behind the song, which is fascinating, because these days, a lot of tracks that's being churned out, the lyrics is pretty much limited, and there's not much stories about it. Whenever you ask an artist, okay, what's the song about? No, nothing. I was just chilling out. I just saw this thing and just wrote something on the track. But in this particular track, you mentioned that it was something to do with communication between partners, of not speaking out, and it also could be used for anybody out there. So what made you write this particular song, or rather this particular lyrics? Was it personal, or was it something general?
So the approach I take for most of my songs is really not is 90% not based on what I'm currently experiencing in that moment of time or a scenario. It was always a fictional character that's embodying what I probably feel. So with Silence is My Fear, um, I think this song, if I'm not wrong, Shane, we started last November, right?
yeah,
Last year,
correct.
last November. So I guess the lyrics in that point of time, I don't think I would have been feeling that great. So naturally, I felt that since the pandemic started, a lot of things have quietened down. A lot of things have basically silenced. You're in your cocoon now. You've built up these four walls around you, and after a while, you realize the silence is growing on you, and this quietness, this whole no rush, no rat race, and no chasing, and you're just confined to this timeless space, and that brought in an eerie silence. So
Okay.
uh, it then I kind of projected it to fictional characters of, like, if someone had a relationship issue, and what could be the most terrible thing that could happen that he is in no control of,
Okay.
something that's not out of his or her actions, and yet he can't save the relationship. And I felt like, the lack of communication, then if, say, partner A wants to speak out or try to solve an issue in a relationship, but if partner B is not as cooperative, and there's a lot of silence around their response, there's a lot of, like, just, well, I don't know, kind of short-change answers, that is a tragedy, because then you've got nothing to work with. There is no real threat to your relationship. There's, say, no third party, or there's no lies or anything, but something is adrift, something is off, and yet I can't. There's nothing for me to use here to sort of think what's wrong with the relationship or what's right, So I believe that communication, when having a bad communicator is one thing, having a bad response is one thing, but what if there's no response at all? I think that's
Okay.
worse. That's worse.
And is this your theme of Monoriff itself? Because you've also had a lot of different, similar feel on your previous tracks, like you were talking about human and all the other side. It's a lot about dealing with human emotions. Dealing with the tracks that you've done, even the music video that you have created back then was a lot about anger. How you deal with emotions and communication. It all has that similar vibe, one unto another. So is that the theme of Monoriff itself?
Rakesh?
Me and to be honest, like when it comes to when it comes to Silence is My Fear, let's go back to Silence is My Fear. There's a part where I figured out all the reasons to leave you, but you're messing my head. I was in love with someone at the time, and
Ooh.
like, I mean, there is.
Ooh.
So, but that,
Still is.
Ooh.
So-
There,
but
ladies.
wait.
Sorry, he's off the market at the moment.
no, I'm not.
Oh, really? Okay.
but the thing is that it kind of like resonated with me well, because like for Niralji it might be someone that he subjugated, like, okay, that he creates this persona, but at that part I was like, it feels like like it's that love or that feeling was not reciprocated, but then like it's like a drug, when it comes to a relationship, like as much as you want to try to think like logically and everything, I mean, it doesn't work, but you're a drug, you're messing my head and everything. So that is where that phrase of the lyrics came from. But as a whole, when it comes to Monoriff and we just love to write about relationships and love, and hence why in a period of time we Niralji told, like, you know what, let's just strip everything off, like let's just I just want to be as raw as possible. So there is one short period of time where we rename Monoriff as human, if you remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were like, you know what, we're just too tired of trying to come up with something that is like bop or pop that might help us to elevate our career in music, and it really drained us up. Like what Niralji said, like I'm too tired to just be in the studio, coming up with songs that has a lot of weight in what we want to be, but not because we want to create something.
Okay.
So it's like, let's just rename ourselves a human, and then we came up with a few songs, and then, but yeah, I mean, the theme of the song, when it comes to writing, like most of the lyrics, Niralji writes. So like Niralji, you have to say like why it's always about relationship and everything.
Well, for me,
Like-
it's all about feels, emotions.
Okay.
I cannot sit down. And if you ask me to sit down and write something, I'll just gibberish. It's just gibberish, just nonsense. And even if a tune comes to my head or lyrics comes to my head, it's a lot of just rubbish. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. Very rare moments, like mostly rubbish. But the thing that drives me to make music or to write is really is how about how strongly I feel about it. So it could be about love, yes, it could, but it could also be about environment. It also could it be about a certain say like the pandemic we're going through now, a certain theme, a certain unique scenario. So with human, it was more of like it was very random actually. I saw this picture of two girls hugging each other. I mean,
Ooh.
and I think they are lesbians, but
Hmm.
the way they were hugging each other was so comforting. It was
Okay.
so very, very comforting. There's something very beautiful about that. Extremely
Okay.
beautiful. And I was really touched. I was like, wow, it feels like the love is so unconditional. How do you reach this level of unconditional love when we live in a world full of conditional love? How do we do that? How do we strip everything and just be human, just love unconditionally? And that's how I tend to carry across other songs as well. And I guess in a way that shapes Monoriff as a whole.
Nice, very nice. And for once, I have to thank you guys on elaborating something so beautifully, so emotionally about love and two ladies being together. Because every single time I meet up other guys when they talk about two ladies, Macha, check out this category in Pornhub. That's how it is. For once, at least, I'm having something decent. I mean, it is very touching, very meaningful, and I appreciate that very much. Things like that should be included more in songs. The expression plays a very important thing in music, because for me, it's not about how the sound is like. It's all about how the music makes you feel, both musically and also lyrically. Pardon me, lyrically. My tongue is all jammed up right now. Sorry about that. And Shane, now you, when it comes to music, of course, when you started off, which is not very long ago, you were going under the phase of, like, say, teenager, of high schools and so on, and now you're taken to another phase. You're getting into college. In a matter of time, you're going to be talking about the working world. And has that so far? I know, it's just recently influenced your music-wise or the way you look at things, because as time goes on, music seems to be evolving very fast, especially this day and age. For you, has that actually changed much in the recent months, moving on to the next phase of your life?
I mean, it's been the same, because I don't know, whenever like I think about the time in school and I spent on school itself and music at the same time, I'm quite impressed with myself. I'm not trying to boost my ego, but I don't know, it just works. And I'm doing the same thing with college, because it's all about the pocket play, you know, like the time you have the gaps in between, you have to be smart with where you use it and stuff. And the perspective has always been the same. It's all about the 10 listeners, like from the start. Like, no matter how many streams, no matter how many monthly listeners and stuff, it's all about the 10 streams that I get. Those 10 streams are just my friends, the day ones, you know.
But that doesn't seem to show in your Spotify. It's not. It's more like 10,000 of people streaming over there. And I was pretty impressed because, sir, I was pretty impressed because for a newcomer and having that X amount of streams, which is considered amazing, because there's not much of, thanks to MCO and all this pandemic and so on, there's not much of marketing campaigning which is able to be done right now. No going out, no live shows. And despite all that, yet you managed to hit the X amount of streams, which is considered fantastic. Thumbs up to you. It's either your music is great or your marketing team who's doing behind the scenes is doing an amazing job on that part. And now with this collaboration, which I really love, because these guys, Monoriff, apart from just the music, it's also they have this, correct me if I'm wrong, you have this mission to inspire people to communicate. Hence the reason your Facebook post and things that you post is a lot about communication. And in a way that if you visit their Facebook page, it looks like it's a TED Talk page. There's a lot of a lot of things. I was a bit confused with the very first time when I checked out your Facebook page. I was like, "You sure these guys are the music guys, or is there some of the guys who's actually running the page?" Is that your mission right now?
Okay.
So we were quite, to be honest, like, I mean, if I really want to be like honest, like, we were quite stuck up with whatever we are doing or we were doing. We were like, every single post has to be like, okay, is this the right post to do, or is this the right thing to do? Even when it comes to like music making, it's like, okay, it has to be this, it has to be that. So like there's one song that we made once, like that was like 2015. It took us at least a year to complete that. A year, right, AJ? Killing Your Own. Yeah. Because like we want it to be the song, or we want it to be perfect. And I feel like as we grow, we realize that like I had this conversation with Niralji, and it was quite a great conversation with him, because like we realized that we are slowly stripping away all the expectations that we have. I'm coming towards like why are we posting that on Facebook or Instagram?
Okay.
But like when we slowly disregard all the expectations that we have when we do something, we realize that we are getting more and more genuine of what we are doing. So like before this Monoriff Instagram or Facebook post is more all about, okay, how do we do this? How do we engage with these people? Or how do we engage with our fans and everything? then it's like, you know what, screw that. Like, let's just post whatever we feel like, and out of that action, we realize that we are getting more and more genuine, and I feel like people start to like that. I feel like
which is interesting, in fact, like for a person who just visited your social media site. Yes, it is at the very start. I'll be honest with you. At the very start, it was a bit confusing, but later on, there seems to be a message going on from each of every post that you have made over there, which is a great thing. I mean, that's at least for me. That's how I like to look at it. But is going to be like that for a while?
The message is all over the place.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, well, it's okay because it's related to what I do apart from this, so I enjoy it. I mean, that's how I look at it. Cool, man, cool. And of course, speaking of music, also getting back to your music side of it, you've also come up with another single, Monoriff, called "Next to You," right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently released. That is another amazing track. I kind of love that very much. I'll put in the link right here for those who want to check out on the website. You please do check that out. And how is that coming along? What is that all about?
So according to Rakesh, that's like our poppiest song yet.
Oh,
It's so Next to You is actually part of an EP that we are releasing this year.
okay.
The EP is called Fantasy, and we have released 2 singles prior to Next to You, Fantasy and History. And we have one more upcoming single after this called Holiday. That would be the 4th single from this EP. So this EP was pretty much experimental, and we wanted to. Oh, I wouldn't say experimental. It was a good deal. Like, we had funds from Chandana.
Oh, cool.
Released this EP under Breaking Music, and we thought that, hey, let's come up with some exciting songs, from scratch. So Next to You was one of it, where it's, I don't know, I think it feels a bit young, and it has those dance vibe a bit. So actually, Shane, what do you think about that song? Did you hear it?
No, man, I love it. It's like the thing you would hear on the radio, that thing that will go crazy on the radio, the teenage summer thing.
NJ,
that was exactly in my head because I was just visualizing a music video for that. It's like, okay, I'm just going to imagine a chick with a lady with a swimsuit by the beach, chilling out. That kind of the feel good vibe on the track, right?
Oh, wow.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it felt for that particular track. Kind of nice. Are you having plans of making a music video for that?
Oh wow, we wish, but it's a big blur now. I think we're gonna take it slow. Like, let's get this EP out first, and maybe why not, when things get a little bit more less strict, we might make a lady and hang out by the beach.
Just kidding, man. I hope the ladies listening out there I'm not just trying to just label you guys or whatever. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not being sexist or whatever. It's how it is, like music video. That's how it works. But speaking of which, these days I've also noticed that music videos have changed a lot. It's no longer about you going out there shooting, get the whole production crew and all. Now it's all about lyrical videos and all that montages get put together and releasing on that trend, which is happening right now. Are you all jumping on that bandwagon too? Or having plans to do that?
No, I'm too old for this, man.
You break two. Oh, okay. If you're old, I'm ancient, man.
It's all about. For me, I feel it's all about the filters and the AR and 3Ds and all these interactive visuals.
Okay.
Because like if you see Kanye West, and have you seen Donda? What he's doing in Donda right now? That is a huge masterpiece. When I saw his performance in this Mercedes, what do you call it? Stadium.
Okay.
Where he just slowly, he slowly descended from the sky, and I feel like that is where
You're talking about a virtual music video, right? It's a virtual music video.
No, that is not virtual. That is it's more like a visual experience. Like right now, what people want from a band is no longer like a normal concert. It has to be a new experience. Like it has to be very interactive. A lot of lights, a lot of glitters here and there, a lot of interactive AR, augmented reality, and so that is where we are slowly trying to dabble into. Like, what do you say? Like, we had this conversation before we start this podcast is where when the pandemic hits, like all the event company is trying to do what's the thing called
Virtual events.
virtual events, but it didn't really kick off, right?
It did kick off, but there's like, I don't know, but at the moment it's 50-50 because you kick it off and then you say you can't go out, so they can't get the clients into the studios. So that made it a little tough for most of them out there.
So like for Monoriff, we try to do like some 3D AR stickers. If you check in our Instagram, we have this mascot where we call it Lisa, so you guys can interact with her and everything. So Lisa plays a huge role in our EP. She's the character that we developed just for the EP. So she's going to be the constant mascot throughout all our songs for this EP. Yeah.
Nice.
That is the creature that you see in the Next to You cover.
Okay, cute. The cute little thing kind of reminds me of the gremlin. You know, the cute fluffy one?
The one
No, not the ugly looking ones. You know, the cute ones in front.
The one that came out in McDonald's?
I did it? I don't know when. I don't know, but this one is cute. I mean, I'm talking the fluffy cuteness sense, not that monster-y part of it. Shane, how about you? Are you venturing into something like that? Music videos and all? Because it's time for you to step up the game. For music, you have to come up with the visuals and all, right? So have you ever gotten to it? Darren has any plans for you for that part?
I think so. We do, like, because like down the line we're planning to do shows, you know, with the entire Karazey brand. It's going to be music, visuals, everything is going to come at you one shot, because art is going to emasculate everything, you know. That's what we feel. And working on visuals is going to take a long time, especially to develop unique ones, you know. Aside from that, we're using stock footage from now, so just budget issues lah. But yeah, we're just
you have to start somewhere. It's all about improvising, man.
Here's something unique about Karazey. He's an 18 years old without TikTok.
What?
Exactly.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Have you visited the doctor yet?
I don't know.
What are the symptoms, man?
Weird, man? TikTok is weird. Like, I don't know how people enjoy it though.
I don't know, man. I can't. I can't. I tried. I was influenced, or rather convinced or persuaded by Roshan Jamrock from Ketang Clan. He said, "Nah, go for TikTok. Go for TikTok." Okay, I opened a TikTok. Maximum I did was 2 posts, and I just shut it down. I couldn't even bother looking at it again. I don't know how it works. Hey, but you have to give credit for the TikTokers. I mean, apart from the crazy, ridiculous one, there's a lot of creative people on that platform, which is amazing. Are you guys on TikTok? Nirol, Rakesh?
We are trying to dabble in it. Like, I'm trying to get my sister to teach me on that.
Okay.
It's like, so sometimes we tend to say, like, if there's, because like as we go, like in 5 years from now, there's going to be a new platform. So we have to like really get rid of our ego to learn. Yeah, adapt. Like get rid of our ego.
Okay.
It's like, screw that shit. Like,
I tried to get rid of my ego. I tried to do all that, whatever I did. I still stuck to it, man. Like,
it's just like, what the hell do you post, man? How do you what exactly do you need to do? I tried.
I looked at those videos, the creative ones you say, I'm like, how did they even think of that? That's
exactly
simple but crazy.
Yeah, but it is hilarious. It is funny. They're very creative, which I love it. In terms of the advertising side of it, or creative industry, it is very useful ideas. You can pick the ideas and use it for ads. Even pick some of the ideas and create a music video all out of it with the trending ones. But to get into it and to start it off, the first one you want to release, I don't know, man. I've sucked at it miserably. I can't, and I doubt I'll ever go back there again.
But
anyway,
it's good news for us musicians in a way, because TikTok has shown us that great stuff can come simple. So if you want to make cool music videos, you don't need like an expensive camera. You need the best looking ones out there. You got a room, you got a good idea. That's all you need.
It's all about being creative. That's all. That's all. Because with technology these days, we kind of, thanks to this so-called 1 year, we kind of gotten used to a lot of things. Our expectations have changed tremendously. No more than I got to spend $1 million to make one video. I got to do this. I got to get production crew. Now everybody's like, even producing music has become so much easier from your bedroom itself with the technology which is available, which is a good thing anyway.
But
anyway, guys. Sorry, you're saying?
Don't you think it's kind of condescending? Like sometimes you put a lot of effort into one content or one music, But then a girl who just stares at the camera and just like smile like that gets like 1 million views. Like, what the hell, dude?
I personally am not a fan of viewers. I do not care about viewers. I find the best materials always come out with the ones with the least viewers. If you notice, especially when it comes to music, if you pay close attention, if you go and visit all the YouTube videos and so on, you just randomly pick the lowest view track, and you'll find so much of quality and the good shit, like the good stuff in those kind of videos. So I tend to pay attention to those kind of details, because let's put it this way, like it's all about the trend of numbers. People are so worried about, I need to have X amount of followers, but end of the day, it's quality versus quantity. That's what's going on right now. So I don't really, on a personal note, I don't. But for marketing aspect of it, or rather making money, you need that figures lah. So you got to work on that part of it. So that's how I like to look at it. Because
Thank you. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
because when you
And I don't have need that pressure to increase the followers. In fact, can start decreasing them.
you'll be surprised. A lot of the artists, I'm not going to give names. A lot of the unique ones who made it on a bigger level, a bigger stage, of different parts of the world, were actually the ones with the lowest figure on the social media
really?
and following and views. A lot of them. You'll be surprised if you do a little homework. You just see all the guys who made it on the bigger level. They were just discovered randomly. They were not following trends. They were doing their own thing. They didn't have much of a following. They didn't have much views on the YouTube or Instagram or whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden, they were picked up by these group of talent seekers or something like that. And they started grooming them and started bringing them out to the market, which, poof, all of a sudden, they grew big. Some of the local artists also had the same thing. I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to mention names because then I don't want to be sued for that. Tak ada lah, dulu aku ada following apa. Siapa cakap tak ada? I don't want that all to come on board. But a lot of the cases, it's all about talent. When you're good, trust me, people will discover you. That's how I believe. I'm a strong believer of that. Because when you follow trend too much, when you follow the so-called marketing aspect of it, what's going to happen is if the trend changes and you don't keep up with the next phase, you're doomed. You be yesterday's story. So that's
You're just doing IT lah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you've been in the business for what, more than 10 years and so on. You've seen artists come and go, right? Everyone is popular for one time, but when the trend changed, they couldn't keep up with it and everything died off. But the ones who still, till today, who's churning out music, is still making music, are the guys who did not follow trend. They kept it real all the way. Till today, they're still standing. So that's how I like to look at it.
So the summary is that you have to keep it real all the time.
Well, keep it real, yes, but of course, like certain part of it for the marketing purpose, you might need to do that. That's how I look. But this, please don't quote me. This is just my personal opinion of the whole thingy. I could be wrong, but I have my own take on this whole thing. Anyway, guys, so before we wrap things up, what's next for you guys? Shane, what's up with you? What's new? What's coming up next? And where you headed to?
Together with a California singer. Her name is Rhea Lone. We have a new single called Get It Right, which is coming out this month. And it's by far the most different track. I say this for every single song, but it's by far the coolest one yet. So yeah, I'm excited to put it up.
Nice.
And for you guys, Monoriff, what's up with you guys? Next to you, of course, is the new one. And anything else in terms of music?
Okay.
We are coming up with like what Niralji mentioned. We're going to come up with a new single, Holiday. But
Okay.
But please do keep in touch because we're going to come up with an EP. It's called Fantasy, and there's going to be
Awesome.
5 tracks in it. And I think Nav might like it.
I love it. I've loved all the stuff that I've heard on Spotify, and of course, like I said, knowing about you guys for a very long time, and finally I get a chance to chat with you all. I consider it to be a big privilege. Thank you very much for coming on board. Thank you so much, man. Shane, it's always been a pleasure. You're no longer a guest on this show. You are family already. It's your second or third one, which is it's great for me. I've seen this guy from the very first single till this very day, how he has moved on, and what's to come is going to be amazing. I'm very sure about that. Same goes to you guys. This new identity, new feel, new vibe. I'm loving it, man. So for those who's tuning in right now, Please do check them out. The tracks available on Spotify. They do have some videos also are available. Follow them on Instagram. Don't get confused on the Facebook page. They have a reason why they have those posts out there. Find out about that. Get in touch with them. And is there anything else you guys want to add on before I wrap things up?
Stay safe, guys.
Rakesh?
My cat is just sleeping still.
Oh, man. And Shane, anything else before wrapping up?
I just push buttons. Yeah.
Yeah?
That's what we're gonna end it with.
Oh,
That's
cool,
his
man.
tagline
Cool.
now.
Anyway, thank you. You.
Before you leave, do you know how much do you know what he got for his SPM?
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to
no.
ask you that. I was supposed to be that Malaysian who does
Ooh.
that. What your son got for SPM, huh? He pasa. I was supposed to do that at the very start of the show. I was planning to do that. Thank you so much, Rakesh, for reminding me. How you got how many A's, huh? Oh, you pasa.
5 A plus 3 A's and 1 B.
Ooh,
He's that smart, dude.
you just made me look like an idiot, man. I don't even remember what I got. Dude, with all that music and all the time, you still managed to get A's.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, man. This
So he was
is
talking about all his headphones and classes, jumping headphones, and that whole. back to
oh,
back.
man. The next minute, he'd be calling himself Dr. Shane, and then I still produce music. You never know, man. You never. So sorry. Before I forget, you're pursuing in college, right? You got yourself into college right now. What are you majoring in?
It's just the foundation in science. It's a pre-U program for 1 year.
And what are you planning to do after that?
I have no idea. That's
Okay.
the 1 year. It's considered a gap year, I guess, for me to decide on what I want to do.
Okay. All right, Dr. Shane, it's nice chatting with you. And also, Niralji, Rakesh, thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure chatting with you guys. It was fun, and I wish you all the best in your music. And once again, for those who haven't checked it out yet, please do check out the music. Amazing tracks. Silence is My Fear is the latest track, a collaboration between both of them. And also, please do check out the individual pages on Spotify. The tracks are fantastic. It is something that you're going to fall in love, or maybe do what I did, put the tracks on loop. That's what you're going to do, man. So it's time for me to say adios. NAV out of here. Thank you very much, guys.